YouTube's new censorship tactic is to limit streams that are too popular. Well, let's take a look at this. This seems interesting. YouTube is capping the number of live viewers for some creators. This video is popular. Due to a limited creator history, we're limiting the number of viewers. Subscribe to this channel and help the creator reach a broader audience. If you're tired of censorship, cancel culture, and the erosion of civil liberties, subscribe to reclaim the net. YouTube has a brand new censorship tactic that appears to be affecting small creators, and one that, on the face of it, makes no sense. Well, of course it makes no sense to you because you don't fucking know anything. What a moron. What a fucking idiot. Let me explain how this works, right? So basically, what is this thing saying? Is this thing saying that it's limiting the stream because it's popular? Or is it saying it's limiting the stream because the channel has no fucking subscribers and no content creator history, but somehow the stream is massive and popular? Why do you think that is? Probably because they're botting. Twitch has the same type of thing. Do you know whenever you go on Twitch and you see a stream with 15,000 viewers that's been online for 2 minutes and it's Elon Musk, if you give him 1 Bitcoin, he'll give you 2? Have you seen that before? I've seen this many times. And then it always gets deleted. Well, the reason why it gets deleted is because there is an automated threshold system that works at Twitch that prevents certain streams that don't have a lot of viewers normally, and there's an algorithm that detects streams that are getting an inordinate amount of viewers with almost no follower count and maybe not a lot of chat interaction. I don't know how many other things are built into this algorithm, but all of these things, yes, it's a credibility system, and almost every single website has a built-in credibility system, because whenever the value of your website is built around interactions and people can fake interactions, the value of your website no longer exists. So to go and say that this is because of censorship is just the most stupid thing that you could say. Twitch has had this for a long time to prevent view botting. This shit blew up on Twitter. Everyone called it corporate censorship. Yeah, of course they did, because they're stupid. And actually, it's not even that they're stupid. It's that they're not that stupid. They just don't understand this. Like, why would any normal person understand this or even think of this? It seems logical if you spend time thinking about it, but who spends time thinking about it in the first place? And what I really don't like, and I'm fine if you have, Ted with the wraparound sunglasses and Damien who's got an American flag in his name, and then you've got another guy and his name is some political bill that he's trying to push through in his small town that's going to make sex with chickens. It's going to decriminalize it. It's not going to make it legal. It's just going to decriminalize it. And you've got these 3 people that are all fucking getting upset and up in arms about this. And the truth is that they don't understand it, and it's not their job to understand it. But it is the job of these people who are on a fucking website spreading misfucking information. And even if it's not misinformation, there should at least be some degree of assuming, because this is, look, what is the name of this website? What is the name of this website? ReclaimTheNet.org. Defend free speech and individual liberty online. Push back against big tech and media gatekeepers. If you're a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. You see what I'm saying? That's what's happening here, is these people are seeing something and they are interpreting it through their very limited, and in my opinion, I think that this is a legitimate and noble cause. I think you should have pretty much free speech on the internet. I do. There are some things about it that I disagree with, but there are, in a general sense, probably 99.9% of cases, I am totally fucking in support of free speech on the internet and free speech in general. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that every single time somebody's stream gets shut down, it's censorship in a way that's trying to limit free speech. This is not malicious censorship. This is common sense analytical protections to make sure that people don't abuse the website. Can see why people assume it's censorship. YouTube has censored creators. Absolutely, you can see why it's censorship. It's the same thing. Here's what I'm saying. It's the same thing how people don't trust the government with fucking anything. Why is that? Because of the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, because of the Gulf of Tonkin false flag, because of other suspected false flags in America throughout the last 50 fucking years, because of rampant corruption in the government that happens probably every few months. There's another person that gets popped off. And yeah, Alex probably helps out a little bit with that too. But what I'm really trying to get at here is that people don't fucking trust YouTube, and these people put out an article, and guess what? Guess what? Every problem that they view it through the lens of big tech censorship. And so guess what this problem is? Big tech censorship. How is this even news? The reason why it's news is because look at this here. Let's read some of the comments, actually. Here's why I'm talking about it. Every live streaming server is going to shoot themselves in the foot or something? I don't get it. It doesn't seem it could be that difficult to create a platform with effective policy. There are subsequent advertisers who want no controversial content. Let's read some more Reddit. And this got 8,000 updates, okay? Keep this in mind. 8,000 updates. Fuck Google. With a dirt rake and a can of gasoline. Don't forget the cactus. Google can go to hell in a 3-piece suit made out of gasoline. What the fuck is this source website? Some bullshit Russian blogger grift. And even the awareness and questioning is stupid. They're Russians? It's right-wing nonsense about rights they don't actually have? Like, everybody knows what we're talking about here. There are two obvious things. There is freedom of speech, the First Amendment, and the essence of the idea of freedom of speech that exists in the culture socially. They are talking about the second one. Nobody thinks this goes against the First fucking Amendment. It's like even the criticism of the website is fucking stupid. You see what I'm saying? Okay, first piece of text screams out TikTok, Twitter because I couldn't say the N-word. It's so stupid. Like, what the fuck is this? I would assume YouTube abused this and apply it unevenly of those that they disapprove of. That is antithetical to what it is. You understand that? In order for YouTube to disagree with something, they would have to know what it is. In order for them to know what it is, the content creator would have to have a history. And if the content creator has a history, this thing would not apply to them. Think about it for 3 seconds. Of course they might be censoring people, and they could be censoring someone, absolutely. But what is the evidence of this happening? Video unavailable, it's too popular. No word, though, on whether this will make videos available to a broader audience. Or if YouTube would come up with a yet more censorship gymnastics while trying to suppress content they might not approve of. See, this is, again, might not. See, this is why the reason this language is used might not approve of is because this language allows them an out in case they are wrong, but it simultaneously reinforces the biases of the readers that they have organically curated through creating a website that's built around censorship. So most people will read this and say might not. They're not going to see the might not. They're just going to see the not. The language that like, I should go through more of these articles and try to deconstruct this shit, because I fucking hate this shit. I absolutely fucking hate it. I see it every single day. Bullshit words that are used in the wrong way or used in some weaselly little fucking way like this, and they're weaselly little liars, dude. They are. Absolutely. Enemy of the people? The press, in many regards, especially the mainstream media, I do believe is the enemy of the people. I do believe it. This is a and I also want to contextualize that and say that this is not the mainstream media. But whenever you willingly print misinformation without even trying to think about why it's happening or ask for any sort of insight into it, just to print it to reinforce your existing narrative, you're no better than CNN. It's not like there's not this thing where mainstream media bad, alternative media good. No, it's like this. Mainstream media bad, alternative media bad. It's like that. Now, are there exceptions? I think there are probably some times in mainstream media where they have good reporting. I'm sure this happens. And I think it happens probably quite regularly, to be honest with you, because you have to build up a sense of, it just makes sense, right? Because, like, imagine it as, like, you're building, you're like farming gold. And you're farming gold by doing good articles, authentic stuff. You build your credibility and your gold level up to 1,000, and then something comes up that you want to try to spin in a certain way. Well, you've got to spend 300 gold on that, 300 credibility. So you don't go back down to 0. It's just what makes sense. So you build up the credibility with authentic reporting and covering of things that don't necessarily need to be spun, and then you spin the things that do. It's just what makes sense. Okay, let's see here. However, it is definitely a thing. It's not hard to see how YouTube would disapprove of this particular streams of the Ottawa protests, since they were organized by truckers oppressed by COVID vaccine mandates. COVID trucker convoy. Yeah, so this is the exact kind of stuff that would get shut down. And so the reason why the Canada thing here will get shut down is very simple. It's because everybody is talking about the Canada trucker convoy. So if you see a stream on YouTube that very often get pushed to people's front pages who are looking at content about this, you are going to have a lot of people who just immediately go to that person's stream. They just immediately go there. And this is a brand new content creator who's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to stream this on YouTube. Maybe they have 200 subs and they have 300 viewers. 344 equals a lot. Yeah. And so I want to address a few things right now that are obvious. This system might be too over-aggressive. It could be too over-aggressive. Shutting down a stream at 300 viewers seems like it is too bad, right? But that's a matter of calibration. Calibrating a system, and a system being too overzealous with the way that it silences different things, is very different than it being programmed with the intent to silence things for a certain political reason. Like, these are two very, very different fucking things. It's bad for viral growth, probably. Yeah, maybe that could be it. But yeah, you see kind of what I'm saying? And so, like, here's really what it comes down to. Like, I'm willing to believe this is YouTube's solution to view botting. And the reason why is because Twitch does the same thing, and I think a lot of other places do the same thing too, in order to prevent like massive influxes of what it seems to see botting. It's basically like a lot of video games, for example, have like Z-axis tracking, which means if you go too far above or below the ground, your character is automatically flagged, and sometimes it gets automatically banned. Because if it sees your character in certain different coordinates on a map that a character is not able to get in, it automatically assumes that you are hacking. Do you think private companies like Twitter or YouTube should all be nationalized? No, I don't think they should be nationalized, but I think they should have accountability to the government. I think Twitter and YouTube and these other companies are just so massively powerful in terms of crafting public perception that it's not in the public's best interest for them to be completely controlled by private interests, especially whenever they're international and they have so much influence over the elections. So yeah, I don't think they should be necessarily nationalized, but they should have more accountability, absolutely. So let's look down, and we're going to look at a few more of these things here, okay? Why wouldn't the message just say it's prevent potential view botting, though? So there could be a number of reasons. If they did say that, these people would still put out an article and say that they're just using this as an excuse. You see what I'm saying? So like, this does not really, if you logically think this out, this is not an actual, this is not a counter to what these people are saying, because all they're going to say is, yeah, of course they're going to say that. What they're really trying to do is censor you. So again, whenever you're a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. So there is that. Also, on top of that, the other reason why they wouldn't do that is it provides a way for hackers and viewbotters to do A/B testing. So this is the reason why Blizzard doesn't ban people all the time, is because the more often that they ban people, you effectively show your hand. You show your hand of, okay, I do have the royal flush again, and you're fucked. And so every single time that you do that and you ban somebody, that person can reverse engineer what they did and then look at the points of difference between what they did this time and last time they got banned, see what the differences are, and then extrapolate what the advantages or the different things that occurred in the software in order for it to advance to the point where it can ban them again. So that's why that could be another reason. Also, another reason on top of that is that they just simply didn't put it on there. That's another thing. They just simply said this and they thought it would be good enough. That's it. So yeah, they didn't think about it. It's a lot of what ifs. Oh yeah, of course it's a lot of what ifs. Let me finish this here real quick. Creator explained that they have had the channel for 7 years with 90 videos and several streams and could not understand why YouTube was limiting them, noting in the comments that the content was nothing unusual or controversial. But this seems to be coming straight from YouTube's playbook: censorship, lack of feedback and communication, and disregard for smaller and independent creators. The truth is that this is the truth, right? They're not completely wrong about this. New creator, by the way. Well, yeah, I mean, you could, so this, do you want to get, I have another use case that's going to disprove what you're saying. We're going to get into another argument. Do you remember? Do you remember? Let's go even deeper, guys. Do you remember the patch feels better on the PTR, New World feels good different on the PTR? Do you remember that? Yes, it feels good different on the PTR. There is a chance that Amazon did it themselves, but there is a much higher chance that the botted accounts, they buy and they fish botted accounts and old accounts in order to create the illusion of authenticity. And this is what a lot of botting companies do, is they create accounts and then they have pre-created responses that these accounts are supposed to spam on different subreddits in order to simulate the actions of a real person, in order to, number one, look more authentic to the algorithms, and number two, look more authentic to the users. So this is what really happens. And the reason why, obviously, it doesn't matter how long the YouTube channel is up, is that the YouTube channel might not have really had that many views in general. It could have had 90 videos and a total of 70 views. I have no idea. So let's go back over here. We're going to look at this right here. I don't really give a shit about that. Let's look at the videos. This seems like it's not a bot. It's clearly not a bot account. Bot uploads? I don't think they're bot uploads because it's the same person talking. It's probably just this guy. It's very sus. I don't think that one person streaming with probably the equivalent of 300 subscribers getting their channel stopped is evidence of censorship. I think that it's much more logical to assume that YouTube employed the same system for an algorithm to safeguard botting that pretty much every other live stream service has, and this person got hit with that algorithm. Now, here's the thing. I am willing to, and this is the same thing I said with Amazon, didn't I? I said the same thing. I'll let something like this happen once, but here's the truth. If now, every single time somebody is making a video about the Canada trucker convoy, somehow only videos like this get hit with this thing here, well then maybe you're right. Maybe it is censorship. Maybe it is targeted. But if you have one point of reference, one frame of reference, that's not enough to say that this is what the cause was. So it's not that this is impossible, that it was censorship. Of course it's possible. They could be doing this, and this is, yeah, people do something that's normal practice, and then they just apply it in a malicious way. Of course that can happen. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying it's impossible to happen, but I'm just saying one point on a chart doesn't make a line. Like, you can't make a line with one point, with one data point. I'm more worried that the system will kill smaller creators and prevent them from videos growing at the rate that they should without this. Exactly. I think that you're very right. And I think that YouTube should make sure that they have a better algorithm to make sure that this doesn't happen to more people. I think another reason why it could have potentially happened is because the comments were turned off. I don't know if that happened during the stream or not, but there could have been a good chance that the comments were turned off, and because of that, YouTube might not have really read properly the amount of people that were in the chat room, in the actual chat room itself. And because of that, there was like a difference between the numbers, and it detected that. I don't really know. Some of these bots might also take a parse of, like, if you have 10,000 viewers, you should be receiving 1,000 messages in chat every 5 minutes. So if you are outside of the second standard deviation of that, and you're getting 80 messages per chat in every 5 minutes with 10,000 viewers, it's a bot, right? And this is just the way that these algorithms work. And you have to understand a little bit about, like, the logic behind them, and once you understand the logic behind them, it becomes much easier to predict what they're going to do and to assume what will or will not happen. It's the same thing that I did with the silencing thing back with Blizzard back in the day. Whenever they said that, oh, we're not going to have anybody review it, bullshit. Or sorry, we are going to have people review it. Yeah, it's bullshit. Here's what I do whenever I read an article online, is I look for lies. And the moment that I see one lie or one false conclusion or irrational or illogical conclusion, I go back and reevaluate every single thing that the article said. Like the moment, it's kind of like what I said before about like whenever you're doing a deal with somebody, and like if there's one thing that's off, it's like, okay, you meet me, and then like the guy brings like 3 of his friends and it's just you and him. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? Or he's trying to pay you $1,000 and he's paying you in $5 bills, or it's just like, it's just weird, and he's like hoping you won't count them, or you know, it's off by like a good amount of money. You see what I'm saying, right? It's like as soon as like anything is wrong with the deal, immediately call it off. And that's the same perspective that I have with reading articles, is that the moment that I see one inadequacy or one inaccuracy, the entire authenticity of the article is suspect to me. And I go into it looking for what's wrong, basically. Anyway, this is interesting, and I hope that YouTube doesn't use this in a bad way. They should make sure the algorithm is calibrated in a way that it doesn't actually suppress creators who finally get their big break on a live stream. That's the last thing that they want to have happen. And if it looks like they're censoring people based off of political opinions, that's even worse. I don't think that's what's happening here. I find it very unlikely. I think these people, again, are a hammer looking for a nail. Seems like a way to stop illegal streams of sporting events, copyrighted material, or bots, to be honest. Thank you, John. Thank you, John, all the way down here at the bottom, halfway down the page that nobody will probably get to. Thank you, John. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It's such a, oh my God. Like, I don't even want to engage in this, because it's like, it's true in a way, but that's not what people are talking about. You can still judge the authenticity or merits of things that people do, whether or not they are illegal. I think this is great. It allows anyone to still get started, but if you're gonna make brand new accounts spreading misinformation, it won't reach as many people. They just read it. They read it and they're like, well, good. And it's not ADHD. The thing is, like, it's not ADHD at all, because it's like, I feel like a lot of the topics, like for example, the skincare thing, or especially the censorship thing, that's like a fucking, like, I have so many opinions about this. I just like have to fucking get it out. It's like masturbating. You just fucking have to do it.